Hi, it's Nancy welcoming you to Garden Scroll.
More and more signs of spring are showing up. This little St. John's wort bush is actually greening up too. We'll get closer so you can see what I mean. See all those green little leaves or foliage coming out. I still have tons of debris everywhere, but little by little we'll get it there. Oh, look at this clematis or clematis. You can see green all the way through as you go up. There's green. There's some right there, some right there, some right there, some over here. I definitely need to get this one cleaned up and get some of that clipped off of there because it's getting ready to go. I have heard that we may have one more cold spell though, so I'm going to wait a little bit before not before I clip it back. I don't think we're supposed to have it down to freezing again, but it may be close. It even may get one more frost before, or below 32 degrees, before spring is really here in the garden. Even though, as you know, it's officially here now. There's quite a few little dead limbs that need to be taken out of the golden carrier so it can begin to shine for spring too, when soon it will be covered with beautiful little yellow balls of bloom. Oh look, I once told you recently that this is feeling like it's not pulling out, so it may still have some life, and keep looking because right there it is. It's coming up, so we'll have some in here. I love the blooms of the fruit trees in the early spring. So pretty. So encouraging knowing that this is the beginning of spring. Oh, I'm seeing that we do have some green coming back in this little water garden. There's one. These are probably Siberian iris or possibly Japanese iris. But we'll have some color, at least some pretty green and probably some bloom. I don't think I pointed out how this artemisia or wormwood is coming back. The last time I showed it to you, it was all looking totally ratty, but now there's life, new life in there, and I really do like this little plant and the beautiful powder blue color. I noticed that one of my neighbors' flowering quincy is all flowered out, whereas mine just has some little spots of color here and there. But as long as there's life in a plant, I'm pretty much happy with it. Of course, you know, if it would fill out in beautiful bloom and just drape over in this beautiful color, I would be thrilled. This is one job that I want to get done before very long now. I think this is my next thing I want to do, is to clear this out, because these are all annuals, but you can tell that there's seed on these. These are petunias, and so I'm pretty sure they've already dropped enough seed to come back for this year, but I'll probably sprinkle a few more down just to make certain. And then I'll take all this out and just let them come back fresh and new. I'm also noticing that my pots that have lilies in them are poking up their little green heads. It'll be a while still before they put on a flower, but they're getting ready. And this little amazing, it's a succulent called Chinese dunce cap, and it just looks like powdery leftovers of a plant that'll never come back again, and then it begins to come back. You can really tell this one is like a little green rosette. And they have been just going right ahead and filling up their little pot. So I don't really think there's more in there than this one and this one right here, this little one. But I think they will proliferate and fill this little container out before the end of the season. I really do still want to go ahead and get this cleaned out too. Maybe even before I do my little strawberry pyramid where I have the petunias. Of course I want to get that done too, but I've cleaned out the front part of this, and I would like to go ahead and clean out all the way up to this little building on this side. For my start, there's still everything in the back still has to be done. It does take a while, and there's no getting around that. As much as I wish I could twiddle my nose or snap my fingers and get it done, it's actually just going to take getting down and dirty and getting it done. Look at this. That's another little green clematis coming up there. And this is another iris, along with some lamium. It's getting ready to shine for our 2022 spring. And look how this little peony has grown. I'm thinking there may even be some buds on there. And sure enough, there is one right there, and there's a little one right there. Right there. It's the last day of March. And we missed our rains for this Tuesday, and I wish we would have gotten some, but just from our little rain that we had last week, you can see how much the forsythia bushes are opening up, and even the irises have grown their little stalks up, their little greenery up more and more. This is a redbud tree that is not quite open enough. You can tell that it has a little purple bloom yet, but it does have buds that are fixing to open. And of course we need to get our pampas grass cut back down so it can come up again, and tomorrow will be the 1st of April, and we'll see if it brings, I think April will bring us a more constant warm weather, but it may not until around the 15th of April. Usually they say that's when our frosts are over for the season, until they come back in the fall. But of course that's always a chance that it may not be over then too, so we'll have to watch out for any late frosts. I'm going to get this little flowering quincy on here also, just on the chance that it might eventually put on a lot of bloom. But honestly, I trimmed this at a time when it may not, because it usually these flowering bushes need to be trimmed right after they flower. Looks like there's a little spider egg sac there too, if you can see it there. And then so you need to trim them, and I knew that I trimmed it at the wrong time, but it just needed trimming badly enough that I just decided to go ahead and do it anyway. And it looks like it could use another trim from the tops of it sticking out too far. Maybe I'll get those at the right time this year. And then also look at this little flowering almond opening up. Isn't that pretty? I love this sweet little pink color. These can become invasive. This one hasn't for me so far, but they can spread out farther than you like, so you have to be sure and keep them somewhere where you can contain them a bit. This little flowering quincy has a little bit more bloom on it. I finished my mother's movie and took it to her and actually got to see that beam on her face as she began to watch it, that I had to hurry, and when I got it back I decided I really wasn't finished with it, so I worked on it a little bit more and now I am finished with it. But as it turned out, I have so many pictures on there that my computer is full, too full for me to actually copy it to a flash drive. So I'm going to try to get some pictures off of it and get that done, and then I have got to get out here and get up all this whole dry stuff out of the garden so it can shine. So spring has maybe not all the way come to the garden, but it's like one of those things where you can look out the window and see it coming. This is tall phlox, and this is a peony growing up in there with that. I probably need to thin some of this tall phlox away from here too. Definitely need to get all this old dead stuff out so the new stuff can really shine. And then of course we'll be going to the nurseries and getting some more new stuff to replace some of this stuff that was an annual and needs to be replaced again for this year. I'll take all these old bags off so that it won't make it be looking bad. But these do help save. So we put our rain gauge up and didn't get rain, but maybe next time will be our turn and we'll be able to tell how much we get when we do get some. You can see that just a few days have made a difference in that rain. Also, that the roses are more leafed out than they were. Some of our little plants will definitely be coming back. I don't know if this one will, but I'm going to keep an eye on it in hopes that it will. This is one of the black and blue salvias that are a little more of a tender perennial, and it may not, since we've had so many ups and downs in our weather, but it may, just because it hasn't ever came all the way up to take it down yet. It may still be able to. And as I'm saying that and looking over here, I'm seeing, I don't know if this is my pretty little tree peony or not, but I hope it is. I think I had one that wasn't a tree peony here too, but this could be coming back. It didn't last year, but it could be coming back this year, and that would be great. My little redbud tree, and I've seen some of them already looking that pretty purple color, but mine is not. But if you get close, you can see that there are little red buds on there, and they will open and make a pretty bloom, and then the honeybees will be after it. So the forsythias are still the main attraction for the garden right now, but stay with us as the things begin to come back, and there will be, you can tell this little clematis right here is greening up, and it won't be long now before we'll have so many blooms. The clematis, the columbines, and just so many things, the peonies. And as they come on, I'll show them to you. And also, of course, just the container gardens. I love to fix up a container garden. This one is just remains of last year's, and this will not come back. But we'll be putting a new grouping in there, and hopefully it will be gorgeous this season.
Please be sure to like and to subscribe to the channel.